So bestie, I have been at Real Broker for 90 days. The question is, am I going to stay or go back to EXP? So if you're new here, I broke the internet, not really, but a couple months ago, 90 days ago to be exact, I left EXP Realty, which was my broker of choice for over 6 years, and embarked on a new journey at Real Broker. And as promised, I told you all that I would come back and give you just the real life nitty gritty on what my experience was like, because the last time I did an episode where I talked about this, I was like brand new, couple days in. And you know, it's like our clients that have their house, right? They only know what it looks like from the outside. You do your due diligence and your research, but you don't know until you move in that that crazy neighbor lives next door, right? So I promised that I would come and I would give y'all a real life review on what my experience and what my team's experience has been like at Real Broker, and if we like it, and frankly, if we are staying. So I'm not going to like drag this out. I'm just gonna let you know, like, I am happy where we are. Real Broker was a great choice for our team, but I'm not bashing my previous brokerage. I think that it's still a great place. I have a lot of really great relationships and friends there, but I want to give you, like, for real though, the pros and the cons of being at Real Broker, because while I do like it, right, and while it is a good fit for us, there are a couple things that I don't absolutely love, and I'm going to be 100% honest and just let you know, because you may be making a brokerage decision, okay? And if you're wondering, like, the difference, right, Real and EXP both are what we call cloud-based models. So it is not an individually owned company. Like, you have a lot of different companies that have like market centers, and you have different broker in charges that own the actual business. There are just a variety of ways that you can earn income in addition to your regular commissions. So the nitty gritty about Real, I won't go back into all of that. If you just want to know like what actually piqued my interest, you can go back to episode number 212. We'll link it here. But I just want to get like down to, at the 90-day mark, what has worked well and what are some things that were and still continue to be a challenge. So number one, let's talk about the good. So the good with Real Broker is the community and the culture. I don't know, Real is on fire right now. And what I am loving about it is that, number one, I just feel like it's attracting, you know, I have been in real estate almost a decade. And because I do things like Real Estate Bestie, not only do I have an opportunity to serve heavily in my local market, but I get to like hang out and connect with other leaders nationwide in the industry. And, you know, a lot of people that I deeply respect, deeply admire, we were all at different brokerages, just the way they're doing their business, they are coming to Real. And it just feels like such a collaborative space. And I absolutely love that. One of the whole idea of it is like work hard, but be kind. And I definitely see that modeled out. And even when I first came over, and now that I've been there for a while, I'm just connecting with so many amazing people. And let me tell you one thing that was like a game changer for me. So I have a partner with Real. Y'all, he cold called a $3 million listing, and he'd never done anything in this price point before. So he reached out to see if I would be willing to go on the listing appointment to co-list with him. And we had just got to Real. So like hadn't done the luxury class or really tapped into any of what their resources were. So I reached out to my sponsor with Real, kind of freaking out, like, okay, I need some help because we want to make sure that we present well on this listing appointment. Well, I won't bore you with all the details, but within, I would say, maybe 2 hours, the head of the luxury department of the whole brokerage of almost 30,000 people was like on our phone, giving us pointers on different things to do with this listing appointment. And just the responsiveness, the willingness to help all the way from the top, like, to me, that just shows the culture in the community of the brokerage. And that's one thing I just want to back up and say that is also one thing that I love about being at a brokerage like Real, is because, you know, a lot of times if you're hyper local, the resources that you have may be limited to what's happening in your market. So I love that this luxury agent who has been on Selling Sunset, who is selling houses in Beverly Hills, like got on the phone with us and help us to understand the mindset of the client, right, that we were going to go present this listing appointment to. And I love that. So community culture is top tier. Like Real announced that they were doing their end of the year summit thing. I hadn't been to one at EXP in years, but like when I tell you I bought my ticket so fast, I cannot wait to go to Orlando. And if you are a Real agent and you will be in Orlando, like like the video so that I know like we can make, maybe we'll have a bestie meetup there. I don't know. But I love the culture. I love the community. And it has just been really, really good for me. And not just me, right? Because, you know, I am a seasoned agent, but I have agents on my team. And I am noticing like how collaborative it is for the newer agent. So I really am liking that piece. Okay. Next thing that I really like with Real, they have an app. So remember I told you in that initial video, I'm like, okay, everybody say the technology is like top tier, but I'm not even gonna lie, I hadn't even looked at it. Well, I've looked at it and I've worked with it. So we have this app called Resin. And what I truly appreciate is everything that I need is at my fingertips. Okay. So from, you know, me validating stuff for my commission documents to knowing like literally like where I'm tracking with deals to I capped with Real within like the first 60 days. So my capping information was there, my rev share, like additional ways to make money, to see who's joining my Real team, right? The team under me nationwide. I just love how easy this app is to function. And I don't know about you, but let me tell you something. I am busy. Like, I don't like to waste time doing a lot of things. And I love that this app, it also has an AI function embedded in it. And with that, I'm not wasting time. Like if I need a referral form, like literally, I just had a referral from Chicago and like, I'm like, oh, let me go on the app real quick. Let me fill out the form and send it to you. Like it just saves time. And it seems little, like at the time when they're like, oh, they had this really dope app. I was thinking like, okay, that's cool. But it is such a time saver. And I remember like when we first got to the brokerage and I uploaded the app, I think that we had a listing, like I had a listing come to market like the day before. And the app was like, hey, I see that you have this listing, and it popped up the address and it asked me if it wanted me, like if I wanted the app to create all this marketing material. And I could have done that like at the fingertips. Now I will tell you that I didn't because I have a VA and like I have some particular branding, but if you just want Real's branding, and I haven't even played with it, like you probably could put in your branding and like stuff that would have had me sitting on Canva for hours. It was right there at my fingertips with the app. And I am absolutely loving that, okay? Now, full transparency, I have not used the CRM that Real provides just because I do run a small team. So I personally, no matter what brokerage I'm with, no shade to Real, no shade to EXP, I like to have my leads in my CRM that I own and the brokerage does not own. However, I've heard really good things about the CRM that they provide also, which is Lofty. So I am really, really happy about the app. I love tracking everything from my stocks to rev share to commissions to payments. Like if I need to talk to the transaction department, we can do it right there in the app. And that is very like, I don't get my time back. So I appreciate the fact that they have helped me maximize my time by having everything right there in my hand. Okay, here's something else. Okay, I have talked about rev share. Number 3, one thing that I am loving about Real is the rev share. So I'm going to give you like a really, really janky explanation of what rev share is in case you don't know, if you've never heard this before. But pretty much with brokerages, EXP was like this too, with Real Broker, the average agent, not the average, but the split is 85-15. So you sell a house, your commission, you get 85%, the brokerage gets 15% until you cap. Well, of that 15%, what the brokerage does is when they are collecting that 15%, they actually pay a portion of that out to who brought you in the company and who brought them in the company. So if you are an agent within the company, and what do we do, right? With anything. Like I just was telling somebody how good a cookie was, right? Just raving about the cookie. And as much as I love the cookie company is not paying me a commission for telling about their product, but a company like Real, they are, right? They compensate agents for bringing other like-minded agents in the form of what we call rev share. So let me just tell you something. The rev share, and I'm like very new, right? I purposely don't, like, if y'all are interested in real and you want to know about it, great. But I'm not going to be like the person like hanging a banner, like making you feel like you can't, be a bestie if you're not a part of my brokerage. That's just not the way I roll. And honestly, it's not even in alignment with Real's culture. So I don't do a whole lot of promoting, like you should join Real, but absolutely, if you're curious and you want to know more about it, click the link in the description box, right? You can find out about it and we can talk about what that looks like. But let me tell you something. My rev share, and I don't have a lot of people under me at this point, but my rev share just in the past 2 months at Real beat out the highest months that I ever had at EXP. And it's because of how the pay structure is. I can just see the opportunity with that. And I'm just going to tell you, just to have a different stream of income coming in, it makes complete sense. And just with my second month of rev share, what I got pays for my office this month, right? So I love that, right? I'm already with a company that I'm seeing profitability, not to mention the fact that I've already capped. So now I'm keeping 100% of my commissions. I just love it. So the rev share structure really, really works well. I can definitely see the difference on how they structured it, and I am a fan, okay? Now let's talk about the biggest reason why I came to Real and why I am loving Real. Is because, and I know my previous brokerage, I feel like they have changed their policy. So I'm not about to say that we're the only brokerage that does this, but Real has what they call co-sponsorship. And with co-sponsorship, what I just described to you about like rev share, hey, you see Real Broker for me, you want to join Real Broker, but here's the challenge. I'm in Texas, and let's just say you're in California. And not to say that you can be successful at Real Broker in California and I'm in Texas, but I struggled a little bit with that because I don't know California law. I don't know California contracts. I don't know the broker in charge. So, when I would have besties that would reach out to me and they would be interested in my previous brokerage, I just didn't feel good about having them sign up under me, because I know that no matter what brokerage you're at, it can feel like you're on an island all by yourself, especially if you're at a cloud-based brokerage. Like, I didn't want to set them up for failure. But with Real Brokerage, we have what's called co-sponsorship. So what co-sponsorship is like, let's just say you're like, hey, I'm interested. I see this agent who's in a different state. Maybe I saw her on Instagram or on YouTube. They keep talking about Real. It's piquing my interest. You start to do your research and you want to be in partnership with that person, right? So you want to sponsor with them. But with Real, you have an opportunity to choose 2 sponsors, right? One person, well, it could be, both people can be in your market. But my point is that I just feel like I get to support agents better when I'm not the only one, right? When we can partner with somebody in their local market. And I'm thinking about one of my girls, Takesha. She is a coaching bestie, was just trying to figure out exactly where she wanted her next steps to be and really thinking about her business in terms of growth. And that's another reason why I like cloud-based brokerages, because, today you may be all about production and helping buyers and sellers, but as your business grows and evolves, I want to be at a place that allows for that growth, and there are some growth opportunities. And she was like, hey, like, I've been her coach for a year. And she obviously, I was honored. She was like, I want to join Real Broker under you. But my suggestion to her was, hey, let's see who's in your market though, right? Because she's in a different market from me. And I remember she sent me a text like, hey, would you be open to co-sponsorship? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Because not only am I open to it, I'm happy about it, right? Because I want to see her business be successful, and her having boots on the ground while I'm in a whole other market is going to give her or help with that success. So that is what I love. I love the co-sponsorship. And as a result, I get to partner with more besties in this way and support you with your business, but like not have you hanging out there if you're not in Texas like me. So I love the co-sponsorship model, and it really has allowed me to connect with our real estate besties. It's just in a different way, right? And if you're interested, like if you're like, what does that look like? RosemaryLewis.com/real, okay? And we can just explore what that would look like, and it gives you all the information if you want to figure out that part. Okay, now let's talk about what I don't like. Because, I don't care how much you love something, and this is why, like, y'all know I'm your real life real estate bestie. I am not going to lie to you. If there are parts of anything that is just not meshing, I'm going to give you the real, give you the real on real. And it's not to bash anything, but I just want to be honest about like things to think about, whether you're thinking about switching to this broker or any broker. So number one, what I don't absolutely love is the transaction department. Now, I will say that what I don't love really is more about a learning curve than it is about getting paid, because I have gotten paid on all my stuff, okay? But just you know how you get used to what I was at the previous brokerage for so long that, you know, if I was late turning my paperwork or something like that, like they worked with me. But yeah, these people are real. They real. They keeping it real. Like they want you to keep it real so they can keep it real. So it has been a little bit of a learning curve with the transaction department for myself and my TC and my admin. And I think that we have it down now, like understanding their processes. And that's something else too. I was a little jaded because I'd been in one spot for so long who had a specific process. Even the back end system is different, and just like how they authorize payments and stuff like that. It's just a learning curve, right? And part of it felt a little tedious at points, but what I love is that I didn't have to wait forever for answers or direction, because you have that app, right? Our app Resin. I can put in questions about my transaction. I'm chatting with somebody live about what my questions are. And then they put like literally like I can call the person from the app. So anything that I have had questions about, we've been able to resolve fairly quickly. And even I think about one day I was traveling and there was a question about just the way one of my clients, they decided to take title in a different way after we were already under contract. So my transaction coordinator just wasn't sure what kind of addenda or documents we needed in our system for that. And like my broker, like the broker, like tracked me down so that we could have a conversation. So again, that community and culture piece, right? The broker was so involved in making sure that it got, you know, that things got together so there wouldn't be a delay in payment. But I'm not gonna lie, like when you're used to doing something one way and then now you have to learn another way, and this other way seems to be a little bit stricter than what you were used to. Yeah, give yourself a little bit of grace there. So the transaction department. Okay, this really don't have nothing. Like the second thing that I am going to point out as a con doesn't have a lot to do with real, just with changing in general, is changing all your stuff. I mean, you know, like that, like if you are going to change brokerages, depending on where you are, right? But man, I still don't have cards to say real. Like they coming. They coming. I'm gonna get them. Like right now I'm using my Blink card because most people want my Blink card anyway. Blink, in case you don't know, it's like an electronic card. So that's that. But yeah, just changing over all of your stuff with the broker or with your licensing department with what state you're in. Then changing all of your advertisement, you know, announcing on social media. A couple weeks ago, we were invited to do a Black History Fair. We're like, oh yeah, I'm like, let me get out our tablecloth. The tablecloth still had the previous broker on there, right? You know, I needed to order new retractable banners, new signs and things like that. And yes, you can like do tape and some other stuff, but again, it's just tedious small things. And every now and again, like I will still find something that still references the old brokerage. So like, I'm just giving myself grace to get everything switched over, but like I can't have that old stuff out there, right? So you have to do the things quickly. So just changing all the stuff, it has been a little bit of a beast. And I think that the more like marketing and signage, and you know, we had to update all of our listing presentations and our buyer presentations, and I had things that were already printed though, so I had to get rid of that print material. And then you update the logo, but then you see that you reference the broker in the body of something. Like it's just been a bit much, but it's been worth it, right? And I don't know, I just think Real kind of go better with Real Estate Bestie. So yeah, that has been a little bit of a nuisance. Not on the brokerage, like if I was switching to, and on the low, like I started this by saying, was I switching back? It's some stuff that I just wasn't switching back. Like I didn't switch to Real because I've said this before, like I'm not married to any broker. I actually am a broker. I could have my own brokerage if I want to. don't want to. But I was like, I'm gonna just hold on to some of these EXP things, because if they don't treat me right over here, I can go back, right? But so far, so good. I am loving it. I don't have plans to go back. But man, just switching all that stuff over, it was a little bit of a headache. Okay, now, probably the biggest thing that I miss is my broker from EXP. Now, I will start off by saying that we have great brokers in Texas. For Real Broker, have nothing against them. They are great. They have been so responsive, and I just look forward to working with them. And as not to say that you don't need a broker, right? I can probably count on my hand in a year, right, how many times I actually would have a broker question, because we've been in it for so long. But when I tell you I have the sweetest broker at EXP, and even I think I said this like when I did the video of when I was leaving, just how gracious she was, because I have been in situations before when I was brand new. I will never forget when I left from one broker to the next, and this other, he called and stalked me, right? It was not ideal, and it put some undue pressure on me. So not only was my broker in charge at my previous brokerage just a fabulous broker in terms of answering questions and being supportive, but when I left, she was so gracious and just so humble. And her name is Karen Richards. I'm going to call her out. I really, really, really appreciate Karen Richards. If you know her, tell her that Rosemary is on the YouTube and on the podcast talking about how amazing she was. And I still say that, she was just really good people. And I really appreciated her as a broker, and I miss her. And I can pick up the phone, I can call her, and I probably will, just to reach out and just say hey. But I definitely miss her. She was phenomenal, probably one of the best brokers I've ever worked with, and yeah, she was just the bomb.com. So that's it, folks. We are locked and loaded in this thing. If you want to know more about Real Broker or just broker decisions, just leave a comment, right? I'm happy to answer any and all questions. And if we ever want to do just a deeper dive, let me know. We can figure that out. But all in all, change is a part of life. And sometimes, and I will tell you, sometimes we get so used to doing things the way that we are doing it that just the thought of making a change is overwhelming. And I just want this experience and my experience to share with you is that, change doesn't have to be daunting, right? There are actually so many beautiful things that can come out of it. There are already beautiful things coming out of the relationships that I'm building at Real Broker. And yeah, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. So hope this was helpful. Staying where I am right now. And if anything changes, bestie, though, you'll be the first to know. All right, bye. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.